Hello, my dear fellow scholars, and welcome back to Study With Me. I'm very happy to be here today with you, and I hope that you are having a lovely day wherever you are in the world. The sun is shining brightly here where I am. I hope it's the same for you. You're new here, hi. I'm a 23-year-old medical student, and this channel is all about helping you to study smarter, not harder. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, please make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of our weekly videos. We upload content every single week to help you on your study journey. So today we're going to be doing some flashcards, which is a technique that I've recently started using after discovering it from another creator. It's been really helpful to me, and I think it's going to be helpful to you too. So before we begin, let me show you my setup. I'm using my favorite planner for this video, which is the A5 sized Oxford. This is the original version, not the 2022 one. If you're wondering why there are so many stickers on it, well, I'm moving apartments next month, so I've been taking down all my old decorations and putting them on my planner because I do know when I'll have time to decorate my new place. But yeah, lots of stickers, lots of washi tape. I am also using my Logitech MX Master Mouse because I love it. I can't get enough of it. I do have my iPad Pro with me today, but I'm not going to be using it much. I'm gonna be mainly focusing on these flashcards, which you can find in a link in the description box below. They're completely free, and I highly recommend you to go and check them out. But before we begin, let me tell you a little story. Once upon a time, I was in class, and our professor told us a very important piece of advice. He said, "Do not wait until the last minute to hand in your assignments." I thought, wow, what an astute observation. How could I have ever thought of doing things at the last minute? But then wouldn't you know it, the next assignment rolled around, and I found myself waiting until the last minute to hand it in. This pattern kept repeating itself over and over again. No matter how many times I promised myself I would do things differently, I just couldn't bring myself to start working on things ahead of time. Waiting until the last minute had become such a habit that even though I knew it wasn't good for me, I couldn't stop doing it. Then one day, while I was procrastinating on an assignment, I came across an article that changed everything. It talked about how the pressure of a ticking clock can actually cause us to work faster, more efficiently, and with more focus than if we had unlimited time. At first, I couldn't believe it. It seemed counterintuitive to me. Why would the pressure of a deadline improve my focus? But after reading the article, I decided to put it to the test. I set a timer on my phone and forced myself to work on an assignment for 30 minutes without stopping. And guess what? It worked. The pressure of the ticking clock helped me to focus, and I actually finished the assignment early. Since then, I've made it a habit to set timers when I work. Not only does it help me to stay focused, but it also helps me to manage my time and get more things done. I'm so glad that I finally found a way to beat my procrastination because it has made such a huge difference in my life. Now let me ask you, have you ever felt pressured by the clock ticking down? If so, try setting a reverse timer. Instead of using a timer to end a study session, use it to start one. For example, you could say, in 5 minutes, I'll start studying. Then use the 5 minutes before the timer starts to take a few deep breaths, get your materials ready, or just relax. This can help you ease into your study session without feeling rushed or panicked. Starting your session with a bit of calm can make a big difference in your focus and productivity. Give it a try and see how it works for you. So I'm going to set a timer for 25 minutes, which is how long I usually do for a Pomodoro session. And I'm gone, try to focus on the flashcards during this time. You can follow along if you want to, or just listen if you don't have the cards ready. Let's go. Okay, so for the first round, I'm going to go through these questions and try to answer them as quickly as possible. All right, so question 1. What is the smallest bone in the human body? The answer is the stapes. Question 2. What is the largest artery in the body? The answer is the aorta. Question 3. What is the longest vein in the body? That would be the great saphenous vein. Question 4. What is the strongest muscle in the body? The answer is the masseter. Question 5. What is the smallest organ in the body? The answer is the pineal gland. All right, so those were pretty easy. Let's move on to the next round. Question 6. What is the function of the pancreas? The answer is to regulate blood sugar levels. Question 7. What is the function of the thyroid gland? The answer is to regulate metabolism. Question 8. What is the function of the pituitary gland? The answer is to control other glands in the endocrine system. Question 9. What is the function of the gallbladder? The answer is to store and concentrate bile. Question 10. What is the function of the spleen? The answer is to filter blood and store white blood cells. Alright, so now we're halfway done. Let's move on to the next 5 questions. Question 11. What is the function of the kidneys? The answer is to filter waste products from the blood. Question 12. What is the function of the liver? The answer is to produce bile and process nutrients. Question 13. What is the function of the stomach? The answer is to digest food and absorb nutrients. Question 14. What is the function of the small intestine? The answer is to absorb nutrients from digested food. Question 15. What is the function of the large intestine? The answer is to absorb water and form and store feces. So now we're on to the final round. Let's see how we do with these last 5 questions. Question 16. What is the function of the heart? The answer is to pump blood throughout the body. Question 17. What is the function of the lungs? The answer is to exchange oxygen and carbon dioxide with the blood. Question 18. What is the function of the brain? The answer is to control body functions and coordinate sensory input and motor output. Question 19. What is the function of the spinal cord? The answer is to transmit signals between the brain and the rest of the body. Question 20. What is the function of the skin? The answer is to protect the body and regulate temperature. Well, that was a fun little exercise. I hope you guys enjoyed it too. If you did, please let me know in the comments down below. Also, don't forget to grab your free flashcards. I highly recommend you guys to go and check them out. They're a great resource for learning anatomy and physiology. And with that said, it's time to wrap up today's study session. Thank you guys so much for joining me, and I hope you have a productive week of studying. Don't forget to take care of yourself and get plenty of rest. Remember that you are awesome, and I'll see you next time. Bye. It's time for another life hack, and today we're going to talk about studying in silence. I'm sure most of you guys are familiar with the classic advice: study with music, study with sounds, study with white noise, or ASMR. And I was one of those people that studied with music. In fact, let me show you some of my old study playlists. Here's one of them. This playlist is called Best Lo-Fi Beats to Study. I have so many playlists like this. You can see lo-fi focus music, chill hop music for studying and concentration, lo-fi beats to help you concentrate. So I was one of those people that always had to have music playing whenever I wanted to study. I would say that these songs were kind of like background noise for me, because I didn't really consciously listen to the music. I just had it playing in the background at all times. But do you know what happened? One day I decided to turn it all off. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try studying without any music. And the very first thing I noticed was that the silence was kind of awkward. It was weird. You know, it's different when you're redoing something and there's music playing and then suddenly the music stops. It's a little bit weird. But then after a couple of minutes, I started getting used to it. My focus became sharper. I was more aware of everything going on around me. The birds were singing outside, cars were passing by, but I wasn't distracted by it. I could still concentrate on my work. It was almost as if my ears were better, you know, because normally they would be covered by the music, but now I could hear things more clearly. And then something even more interesting happened. My thoughts got louder. If you're someone who studies with music, I'm sure you can relate to this. Normally your thoughts are kind of drowned out by the music. Don't really pay attention to them. They're not as loud. But when the music stops, your thoughts become much louder and clearer. I started noticing that I was thinking more critically and creatively, and that helped me come up with new ideas, new study methods, and also with writing my scripts for this channel, because normally I would get distracted by my thoughts, and I would kind of like push them away and go back to studying. But when I was studying in silence, I couldn't do that anymore, so I started paying attention to my thoughts, and I started listening to what my brain was trying to tell me. And that's when I realized that studying in silence is actually a superpower. It helps you get in touch with yourself. It helps you listen to your inner voice. It helps you think more critically. It helps you get more things done. And I want to share that superpower with you guys. So before we start, I want to address 2 points. First of all, if you're struggling with intrusive thoughts or negative thoughts, then studying in silence might not be right for you. Instead, I recommend trying other techniques, such as the Pomodoro technique, or taking breaks in between study sessions. Secondly, if you're someone who gets easily distracted by external noises, then studying in a silent place might not be right for you either. In that case, I recommend trying to find a quiet place where you can minimize distractions or trying to use earplugs. Now let's get into it. We all talk about 3 reasons why studying in silence is a superpower and how to make the most out of it. All right, reason. No. 1. Studying in silence makes you less forgetful. I used to think that studying with music was helping me concentrate, but actually it was doing the opposite. When you're listening to music, your brain is split between the task at hand and the music. So instead of being 100% focused on studying, you're only about 50% focused on studying. The other 50% is being occupied by the music. When you remove the music, your brain has more space to focus on the task at hand. It can work more efficiently, and you're less likely to get distracted and forget things. Studies have shown that studying in silence can improve your memory recall. In one study, participants who studied in silence were able to remember more information than participants who studied with background noise. The reason for this is that when you study in silence, your brain is more likely to encode the information you're learning into your long-term memory. This means that you'll be able to remember what you studied for a longer period of time. Okay, reason no. 2. Studying in silence improves your critical thinking skills. When you're studying with music, you're less likely to think critically and creatively because your brain is too busy trying to process both the music and the information you're relearning. However, when you study in silence, your brain has the space and focus to analyze and evaluate information in a more thoughtful way. This means that you'll be able to come up with new ideas, solve problems more effectively, and make better decisions. A study published in the Journal of Philosophy and Psychology found that subjects who completed a creative thinking task in silence were able to produce more creative ideas than subjects who completed the same task with background noise. So next time you need to come up with a new study plan or approach a problem from a different angle, try studying in silence. It might just help you come up with the perfect solution. Reason no. 3. Studying in silence helps you finish faster. This is one of my favorite benefits of studying in silence. When you're studying with music, you're essentially multitasking, trying to focus on the task at hand, while also listening to and processing music. This can lead to decreased focus and decreased productivity. On the other hand, when you study in silence, you're able to give your full, undivided attention to the task at hand. You're able to work more efficiently and get more things done in less time. A study published in the British Journal of Psychology found that subjects who performed a task in silence were able to complete it faster than subjects who performed the same task with background noise. So if you're feeling overwhelmed by the amount of work you have to do, try studying in silence. It just might be the boost in productivity you need to get everything done on time. Let me share a personal story with you guys. I used to think that studying with music or studying with sounds was helping me concentrate and get more things done. But actually, it was doing the opposite. I was spending more time searching for the perfect playlist to study with than actually studying. I would spend hours on Spotify looking for the perfect songs to study with, but nothing ever seemed to be good enough. I would end up deleting the playlist and starting over again. Or I would get distracted by the music and end up daydreaming or falling asleep. It was until I tried studying in silence that I realized how much time and energy I was wasting. Studying in silence helped me stop wasting time searching for the perfect playlist and start actually focusing on my work. It also helped me stop getting distracted by the music and start listening to my thoughts and ideas. As a result, I was able to get more things done in less time. And if you're someone who struggles with procrastination and distraction, then I highly recommend trying to study in silence. It just might be the change you need to start getting more things done. So yeah, studying in silence is pretty cool. I mean, it's not for everyone, but if you can do it, it can definitely help you get better grades and become a better student. And I want to leave you guys with one final challenge. Next time you sit down to study, try putting on a timer for 10 minutes and trying to study in silence. It doesn't have to be a long time, just 10 minutes. And if you can do it, then congratulations. You have unlocked the superpower of studying in silence. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you guys will give studying in silence a try. If you liked this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I post weekly videos about productivity and studying, and I would love for you to join my community. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.